You're live, it says. What's up, everyone? What's up, YouTube? How's it going, y'all? It's me, Drew Manning from Fit coming to you guys live on a beautiful, beautiful Monday afternoon here in Salt Lake City, Utah. Let me show you guys this view really quick because it is gorgeous today. Usually in Utah during the wintertime, we have this thing called the inversion, but not today. You can see the mountains clear across. Can you guys see that? Obviously, the snow, it's cold outside, but at least it makes for a pretty view. That's why I got this house, is because of the view, to be honest with you guys, because I love a good view. So today we're talking about, is the keto diet right for everyone? Because I get asked this all the time, right? There's people that see success that are vegans, vegetarians, paleo, Atkins, and people see success on the keto diet too. And so sometimes with this, people get into these camps of like, hey, which diet's better? Is this something everyone should do? Is it safe for everyone to do? So I'm going to give you guys my opinion on that. And you guys can feel free to share this video with anyone that, maybe has asked you the same thing before. So if you're on, say what's up in the comments. Let me see if I can turn the comments on. Live chat. What's up, you guys? Thank you for joining me. If you guys, have questions, feel free to ask them in the comments over here. Tanya Moeller, what's up? How are you doing? Great question, Tanya. I'll answer that soon. But feel free to interact with me, you guys. I want this to be interactive. But we will be talking about keto. I will answer you guys' questions. I have about 20 minutes before I got to head out and go pick up my girls. Tanya asks, do you measure blood sugar levels as well as ketone levels? Yes, it's really important to measure both, Tanya. I don't measure them all the time. I can tell when my blood sugar levels are, in a good range, but every time I test them, they're definitely below 100. But you can get a ketone meter that is both glucose. You can test glucose and ketones as well, where you prick your finger and use a different strip, which I think is very convenient. So it's really important to know what your blood sugar levels are as well. So, or you can get a CGM, which is a continual glucose monitor that you get implanted into you, and you can read your instantaneous results on an app and kind of see how, as you're eating something, is that something affecting your blood sugar levels, which I think is really cool. Maybe we'll have the technology for your ketone levels as well. So what's up, everyone? If you guys are on, feel free to say hi before we get started. And feel free to ask any questions. I'm just chilling here and sipping on some tea before I got to head out. And so one of the things I want to talk about is, is keto for everyone? And I'm going to tell you guys a funny story about that and why I wanted to discuss that today. So like Tanya did, you guys don't be shy. Say hello in the comments and feel free to ask any questions. So here's the thing. This past summer, I believe it was this past summer, I had the opportunity to go on the Tom Bilyeu Health Theory podcast, right? Tom Bilyeu is the former CEO of Quest Nutrition, right? Quest bars, we all love that stuff. I've known Tom for years now, actually, before the Quest Nutrition was huge, and it was really cool to meet him. And anyways, he had me on his podcast recently. We were talking about keto, we were talking about fit, all these kinds of things. And one of the questions he asked me at the end, he's like, is keto for everyone? He's like, do you think keto is for everyone? And I was like, well, that's a good question. And I kind of asked him the question. I was like, well, what do you think? And he said, no, I don't think it's for everyone, but I think it's for everyone to at least try. And I agree with that 100%. I don't think keto is for everyone. I know people who have tried keto and not had good results, or it didn't feel good on it, even though I gave them a lot of advice. And for whatever reason, for some people, it just doesn't work that way. And that's why, I'm not this religious keto person that thinks keto is going to save the world. And if you don't do keto, then you're a sinner and you're less than, and you're in the wrong camp. I believe that, keto is not for everyone. I believe that certain things work for different people, right? Different diets, different ways of eating work for different people. And that's why it's good for us to be open to other things that might work for other people. Because, I'm not out there saying keto is the best. Keto's, is the best diet for every single person out there. I know for a fact that It's not. But I think it's worth at least a try for every single person to know if it's optimal for them. And the only way to know that is to give it a try for at least 30 days, right? Not doing it for a day or two, but doing it for at least 30 days, maybe 60 days to find out if keto is optimal for you. I think that's at least worth everyone giving it a try. I don't think it's for every single person, but I think it's worth that consistent effort. And then that way, now you can take that data and say, hey, I gave it a try for a good 60 days, and this is what happened, right? And maybe you felt optimal, maybe you didn't. And maybe you did it wrong the first time, who knows? But being open to giving it a try, I think is at least worth, everybody's time and effort. Missy Castillo, is it okay to go over in fat intake? Yes and no. It just depends on what your goals are, Missy. You can gain weight on the ketogenic diet. I want you guys to understand that. You can gain weight and gain fat on keto. A lot of people think, I can eat whatever I want to as long as it's keto friendly and I'll burn fat as fuel. It doesn't happen that way. So you can't overeat fat or protein or carbs on the keto diet. If your total calorie intake is less than what you put out, then hopefully you should be losing weight. But it's okay if you go over on your fat goal for the day, in short. Okay, Jacob from Albuquerque, New Mexico. What's up, man? He had a question about my 60-day keto plan, the quick start. He's done keto before. He's training often. I was curious if it was okay to follow a 5-3-1 style lifts. Maybe, Jacob, you could... Okay, you do explain it. Before doing the AMRAPs and your first 4 weeks of training, since I was training before starting this, FYI, I started today, so going to get my lifts today. Okay, so you're looking at lifting heavy, Jacob, on top of the AMRAPs that I have in the first 4 weeks of the program. Is that correct? Please let me know if that's correct. I just want to make sure I understand you before I give you an answer based off of, either the right or the wrong information. Yes, that's correct. Okay. Yes, it would be totally fine to do that, right? If you're already lifting heavy, the 6-day keto program, the way the AMRAPs are in there is for someone that, probably isn't lifting heavy like you and I, and maybe is looking to just, lose fat, get toned, get fit. That's kind of the majority of my demographic. But it's totally fine to get in your heavy lifts before and then do the AMRAPs. That's a great combination of a great workout, to be honest with you. So, Spec, what's up? I am back, and we're talking about keto today. So if you guys missed it, definitely go back to the beginning and you got to hear what I have to say about whether keto is right for everyone. I'll repeat it here in a little bit. Stacy asks, I appreciate your knowledge on how to do keto correctly and best. How is the best way to know and keep track of portion sizes to stay within your macros? If I do intermittent fasting for 16 hours daily times 2 meals daily, so keep track of your portion sizes. So that's where something like MyFitnessPal, Stacy, would come in handy, where you could, know how much, how many calories, how many grams of protein and fat and carbohydrates you're consuming in those two meals. And that way, exactly, rather than just going off portion sizes. Because if you have a portion, a handful or, a fistful of steak versus chicken, well, it's the same portion size, but the macros are going to be, very different, right? The calories are going to be very different, right? If you have a fatty, ground beef that's this size, this portion size, and you have chicken breast over here, it's going to look totally different. So that's why using an app like MyFitnessPal, or there's a bunch of other trackers out there to know exactly what's in the portion sizes that you're eating. I do the same thing where I fast for 18 hours, fast for 16 hours, eat for 8 hours, and eat 2 meals per day. And I kind of just know now, I've been doing it for so long, I know what size of my meals I should be eating. And I kind of know, my body lets me know when I'm full. And if you're doing keto right, your body should let you know, hey, it's really hard to overeat fat and protein together. If it's eating carbohydrates, that's really easy to overconsume. But fat and protein is really hard. Your body will let you know when you're full. So I've just been doing it for so long now, I know kind of where my happy place is. Okay, so Jacob, yes, you don't want to lose the strength. If your goal is to maintain that lean muscle mass, then definitely that's what I do, is I add in some heavy lifts along with maybe some CrossFit type of AMRAPs, those Metcons, to keep my cardio up, my athleticism up, performance up, and I like the way I look and feel when I'm doing heavy lifts plus the the Metcon style training. Black leaf. Other than using a fatty dressing, blue cheese, and avoiding croutons, what considerations for keto at a salad bar? I'm a huge fan of like the Cobb salad. Cobb salad is a great keto-friendly meal that I get. I'll probably get that tonight, and I love it, to be honest with you. Avoiding what considerations for keto at a salad bar? I could throw on olives as well, any kind of nuts or seeds. I do sometimes. I love the hard-boiled eggs, the chicken, the turkey, the bacon. All that stuff tastes good on a salad, to be honest with you. Stacy, hopefully that was beneficial and of value to you. So really quickly, before you guys ask your next set of questions, I kind of want to reiterate for everyone new that's joining us today is keto for everyone. I don't want anyone here to take this and think, keto is this new religion. Maybe you've seen good results on it. Maybe you know someone who's seen good results on it. And usually what happens is people become preachy about it because they're like, hey, this worked for me. This will work for you too because it changed my life and it's going to change your life too. And that's where it almost becomes a religion, is because it changed certain people's lives. They think it's going to change everyone's life. And that's not exactly how it works. And so it's really good to be considerate and compassionate towards other people and their views on keto, if they do keto or not. But like I said, is keto for everyone? No. I know people that do really well on carbohydrates. There's a good book by Rob Wolfe called, what's it called? Wired to Eat. It's a great book. Rob Wolfe, Wired to Eat. Check it out. Him and his wife do an experiment side by side where they both test their blood glucose levels and they both eat the same amount of carbohydrates from different sources. So sometimes they do 50 grams of carbohydrates from rice, right? They measure it out, 50 grams of carbohydrates from beans, 50 grams of carbohydrates from bread, banana, cookies, some other things, some experimentation, and they test their blood glucose before and after at the exact same time, right? And these are two different individuals, right? Two different humans eating the exact same things. And it's amazing to see their responses to these two things. Rob Wolfe would eat a banana, right? And test his blood glucose levels. And he became as if he was almost a type 2 diabetic, where his wife could eat the exact same thing and she had zero response, right? As if she drank water and nothing happened to her glucose levels, right? So this is what I'm saying. She's more carb tolerant, where she can, her body is really efficient at processing carbs. But Rob, he'll turn into a type 2 diabetic if he eats these types of carbohydrates. So this is where I know it's very individual, and keto might not be for everyone. But it is worth at least giving it a try. That's what I think. And that's what I wanted to say really quickly to all of you guys is that, I do think if someone gives it a try for at least 30 days, maybe 60 or 90 days, then they know whether or not that diet is optimal for them. And that goes for any diet out there, right? Vegan, vegetarian, paleo, Atkins, South Beach, whatever it is, do it for a good amount of time first. Right, I would say a good 30 days to allow your body time to adjust and adapt, and then you can base it off of, okay, after this much time, my body's been able to adjust and adapt to this new way of eating. Then you can say, hey, I like the way I feel, I like the way I look, I like my results, so I'm going to stick with this for a little bit longer and see how it goes. Right, Emily Lovato, is it normal to see weight fluctuate on keto up and down? Yes, it's normal to see weight fluctuate on any way of eating, right? Any diet, your weight fluctuates so much throughout the day. That's why I don't like the scale weight. In my opinion, Emily, go get your body fat tested, get a body composition test, either a DEXA scan or a bod pod, or something that you can do to measure your body composition, fat mass versus lean mass. And that will be more telling of whether or not you're seeing better results. Versus a scale weight, right? The scale weight is just your relationship with gravity, which fluctuates all throughout the day, every day, and it makes people get frustrated and upset and stressed out, which ends up causing more damage than good. And so that's why I'm not a big fan of the scale. So there's other things you can do. You can take measurements, right? You measure your waist, your hips, your chest, and see how you feel, or see how if your measurements are going down. When I did Fit to Fat to Fit, there were weeks where I didn't lose any weight, but I lost inches. And what would you rather have? Would you rather have, if you had to pick between these two options, you guys, if you looked in the mirror and you saw yourself and you had the perfect body, right? You loved the way you looked, and you're like, wow, my body's amazing, but your weight was 20 pounds heavier than what you wanted it to be, would you care? And I'm curious to know what your guys' answers would be, right? Or would you want to hit your goal weight, but not have the ideal body that you want, but at least you weigh the amount of weight that you want to weigh? What would you rather have? Let me know your answers below. I'm very curious. I'm going to be heading out here in a little bit because I got to pick up my daughters. But ask yourselves that question. Would you rather see yourself with a perfect body, even though it meant that you didn't have the weight that you wanted? Or would you rather have the weight that you want and maybe, the body that, doesn't, maybe it's like almost there or it's not there quite yet? Obviously, we want the best of both worlds. We want the perfect body and the weight, but sometimes that's not how it always happens. So that's why you got to focus on body composition rather than just scale weight, right? Because the lower your body fat is, the better you're going to like the way you look, right? But the scale can't tell you how much of your weight you're losing as fat mass versus lean mass. The goal is to lose fat, not lean mass, right? So, but the scale can't tell you that. Okay, last question. This is a good one from AI Furugen. AI. Do you have any advice on emotional eating? I know what is good and bad, but I tend to eat unhealthy foods constantly. How can I shift my mindset? Great question. Welcome to the club. There's so many people out there. Everyone listening has the same struggle with emotional eating. We all do. It's really, really hard. It's something that we have to face every single day, right? And that's where I learned from Fit to Fit how powerful the emotional connection to food really is. We tend to eat our emotions, right? When we're happy, we celebrate. We want to celebrate and eat what everyone else is eating. When we're sad, we're stressed out, we want something quick and easy because we had a stressful day at work, or life's not going the way we want. So we need more alcohol. We need more, cake or cookies to something to make us feel comfortable, right? Comfort foods, and it's our coping mechanism. It's a safety guard for us. It keeps us safe, right? And that's why a lot of people that are overweight kind of keep staying in that mindset because it's a way for them to not have to deal with the emotional issues, right? So emotional eating isn't just as simple as, hey, stop eating that food. What's wrong with you? Like, put the junk food down. It really does it has to do with you digging deep, AI, and finding out what are your mental and emotional challenges. Why can't you stay consistent with eating healthy? And a lot of it has to do with sometimes childhood trauma or deep emotional issues that we've pushed down so far. And once you face those things, which are really hard to do, it's not easy, it doesn't happen overnight, until you face those things, this same pattern will keep coming up over and over again, no matter how hard you try and willpower your way through it, right? So some things that can help is, hiring a life coach, seeing a therapist, and really dig deep. And it has to do with self-awareness, getting to know yourself better to find out what are these issues that I'm holding on to, right? And why. And once you figure that out and you know who you are a lot better from figuring those issues out, then you can see yourself from a different perspective and you have more freedom over, hey, I can choose this and be okay. Like, hey, it's not a big deal if I end up eating this broccoli versus this donut, right? Like it's not this big of a deal. And you start to be like, oh, now it's becoming easier. The more self-awareness, more self-love you have and self-worth. So don't give up on yourself. Keep fighting. You're worth it to keep fighting for your health, and don't give up on yourself. That's what I would say to that. But anyways, I got to head out. I appreciate you guys. I will be back soon. And you guys, please feel free on these YouTube lives, feel free to ask your questions. That's why I'm here, is to help you guys as much as possible. So we'll be doing more in the near future. Stay tuned. I'll be in LA this week. If any of you guys are in LA, come say hi at the Metabolic Health Summit in Long Beach. Definitely looking forward to meeting some of you if you guys are out there. metabolichealthsummit.com. I think they might be sold out, but double check. Okay, guys, we'll see you guys soon. Have a great one.